Well, obviously, we were delighted to go out and get a result against Butler, who's one of the best teams in our conference, although they're all very good. It was a great turnaround for us to be able to go out and get the 3 points. And again, it's a little bit like Groundhog Day with the amount of ties that we've had this season. We were disappointed to go out to Marquette and only be able to muster a point from them. And so backs against the wall a little bit with these next 2 games left. I think the guys know that. Whether or not they understand, we'll be able to see come Sunday. But looking forward for the entire week to be able to prepare and get ready for DePaul.
Given where you guys are at, do you kind of treat these last 2 games as if this would be the postseason?
I think you have to. Unfortunately for us, we've put ourselves in this position, which is unfortunate because we are a very talented group, arguably one of the best that I've seen in my tenure at Creighton. And so because of where we are now, I think we have to treat it that way. I think we have to treat it as a win or go home type deal, and that's how we're going to prepare for it this week.
Do the guys kind of understand that?
I thought they did going into Marquette, but from our sluggish performance, I don't quite know if we fully understand it. But that's going to be one of the goals for the week, is to make sure that they understand the sensitivity of the situation at hand.
When you look at the Marquette match, it was really one of maybe the only time you guys just didn't have full control of things, regardless of how the results were going in terms of goals, opportunities. Why do you think there was slippage, especially in a match that meant so much?
Yeah, I think we had control of the match in the first 20, 25 minutes. But then we started to get laxed. We started to deviate from the game plan and started to become more individuals than a unit, which comes down to discipline. That's just discipline. And we tend to lose a little bit of discipline when we're not scoring and things aren't going our way. We want to make sure that we emphasize as a staff to our guys that if we're looking for solutions, we want to look for solutions within our principles. We don't want to venture out of our principles to look for solutions. And that takes focus. It takes belief in the game plan. It takes attitude. And we're going to make sure we work on all these things this week.
I'm sure you're emphasizing that, but how important is it, given that how many different styles there are throughout the Big East that you play against, to make sure that the guys are sharp in what you guys are trying to do versus what the team's trying to do to you?
It's pivotal. Every opponent is challenging in the Big East, and every opponent threatens you in different ways. They all have their own strengths and different traits, and so as a staff, we're diligent in making sure that we're scouting our opponents to then prepare our group before each match. And so we have to believe in the game plan when we're going out to play DePaul, right? And so we just got to make sure that first and foremost, we believe in the game plan. Secondly, is going out and executing it. And again, I stress being able to execute what the game plan is within our principles.
Duncan had a couple timely goals for you this past week. One to put you ahead against Butler and one to tie against Marquette. What makes him so good at penalty kick situations, and I guess why do you choose him to take the penalty kicks?
Obviously he's riding high on confidence right now, but I think he's a guy that can control his emotions. He does a good job at staying pretty balanced mentally, which I think are both 2 good traits to have. And he's a goal scorer, and so I think he's feeling pretty confident at the moment, and I don't think it's a bad idea to keep him on the ball.
I think he only had 2 or 3 goals in his Creighton career before this season. Now he's got, 10 or 11 this year.
Yeah, he's got 11, yeah.
Yeah. Did you kind of see him becoming this kind of scorer this year?
You know, we always envisioned that he would be a big part of our attack. Whether or not it was going to translate to double digits and goal, I got to be honest with you, I didn't know. But I did know that he had the work ethic, and he had the desire to want to become one of those forwards, and I couldn't be more proud of him.
How does that change things for you tactically?
It doesn't change anything tactically. It just gives an opportunity to another guy to step up, you know. It's always unfortunate when you see some of these guys that have to serve a suspension for accumulation of cards, especially when you look back at the cards and their cards that probably were prevented. But nonetheless, I think it's a great opportunity for the next guy in line. You know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. We're deep, and that for us is a good thing. And so, unfortunately for Owen, he's got to take a seat, and now it just means that the next guy that steps in has a great opportunity to come in and make a statement.
Owen made some good plays defensively against Marquette. It's not usually, where he stands out. Are you having conversations with whoever you're choosing to replace him about the need to play both sides of the 18 and not just try to create goals and everything?
Yeah, no, Owen's done a pretty good job throughout the year to be able to play between both 18s, like you said, and be able to play on both sides of the ball. But the way that we're playing in that position as wingbacks, it's part of responsibility to be able to offer services as an attacker and also be diligent in your defensive output. And so that position comes with it's part of the responsibility of that position. And so whoever comes in to replace Owen will understand that this is something that they'll need to do to be able to play in that position.
Played and coached in so many matches where it comes down to this part of the year where you have to be as sharp as you need to be. What do you hope the guys, especially with an experienced group like this and a talented one, what do you hope they harness about this moment that will allow them to play their best and then live with whatever the results are?
You know, for me, the one thing that I try to transmit to our guys is, especially our seniors, you don't want to play with regrets. You don't want to leave regrets out on the field. You know, your time is winding down, and so just make sure that when you go out there, you give it your maximum effort. Because at the end of the day, if you give it your maximum effort, at least you could rest easy at night knowing that you did so. But the last thing you'd want is to not leave it all on the field and then have regrets the next morning. So I think my main message to those guys would be about leaving it out on the field. And for the guys that aren't seniors, you know, if anything, make sure that you give it your all for those seniors that are potentially playing in their last couple of matches.
Anything further for Coach Torres?
Awesome. Thanks for coming out.